Yo, what's up guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video. The other day, I made a very nice run in the Open Great League here, and we ended up hitting number 15 on the Global Go Battle League leaderboard, our highest so far this season. And we are starting to approach the legend rank already. It's pretty early. There's been some legends this season. My buddy SS Thorn, I know, hit it. A young trainer from the UK blissfully hit. I saw Jason just hit it. I think first person on stream to hit it this season. So we're going to see if we can do it. And the team we're running, Shadow Dragonair actually, along with Corviknight and Wigglytuff. And I really like the neutrality of Dragonair and Corviknight with this team. We are pretty soft to Shadow Talonflame in the back, which is something that when it lurks in the back is pretty rough for us to see. So luckily, normally people when they run Shadow Talonflame, it seems like they like to lead it. When it is in the back, it can be difficult for us, but sometimes we are able to lure it out with Corviknight and at least like either get a shield or chip it where Dragonair can farm down and then sweep with Wigglytuff. So here we go. Game number one. It's going to be against Wanilo here, an amazing player. He takes the shield advantage. And then we're going to come in with Wigglytuff here. And this is a game that we play a certain way. And in comes Caesar. Now we come in Corv. And it's going to be Corv against Corv in the back here. And this is a game that is a great example of... Oh, man, you know what I should have done? I should have clipped the game from the following day. So the very next day, I replayed against this same player. And I actually was able to remember his line. Normally, I'm not very good at remembering lines from people as we catch a move here. I was hoping maybe I'd catch a payback to give ourselves a chance to stay in the game. But unfortunately, we don't catch a payback, and this is just going to be game over here as Caesar is going to get off some energy, and they still have energy on their Corviknight as well. I get off an Air Cutter, but Air Cutter is not going to be quite enough against Caesar, and he boosted as well to make matters worse, so we let it go. And although that looked pretty bad, we actually ended up playing him again. And because I actually remembered the line, which I rarely do in GBLs, people are better at that than me. I was able to win the next time I played him because what I did was I won the lead instead. And I was able to actually, when he came in with Corviknight, I put my Wiggly onto the Corviknight. And I put my Corviknight onto the Caesar and actually won that game. So that was a good example. And as we're climbing here in the Go Battle League, you see me like taking a long time on this screen. I think what I was actually doing here was like thinking about what could I have done to win that game. And I thought, you know, if I won the lead, I could have aligned things better and maybe made the read that, well, with a Goodra lead, Wigglytuff probably wasn't going to have a good matchup against anything else in the back. So maybe I should have just put it against the Corviknight. And that's exactly what we did in a future battle. And we actually ended up getting the win. So I kind of forgot that's how the video started. But a little bit of insight there. Here we go. Playing against Boom. Shadow Talonflame lead. Where we want to see it. In comes Corsola. And this is looking good so far. Very favorable matchup for us. Wiggle, wiggle. Charm, charm. Go for the Icy Wind here. And usually in this matchup, you can just go one Icy Wind, take 2 Power Gems, and then charm all the way down. Pretty simple. Pretty dominant matchup for Wiggles here, where you don't have to shield. And you come out with some energy. And check this out. I come out with quite a bit of energy. And I go 1 in Icy. And I'm hoping this Icy allows me to actually survive this Incinerate. So I do 1 Icy, 1 in Swift. Versus if I just done 1 in Swift, I don't think I would have reached that second Swift. I think the move would have knocked me out. In comes a Florges in the back. I'm actually going to go for a Wrap here. Wrap guarantees the defense drop on your opponent. So I get a shield. I drop their defense. And the Talonflame was so low that Boom decides to top left there. So, tough alignment for him. Here we play Pokémon, one of the best players in the world without a doubt. Carbink, interesting lead. I would say slightly favorable for Dragonair, even though we're a dragon against a fairy. We have the Aqua Tail spam, and as you're going to see, Aqua Tail basically 3 shots. The Carbink, we know Carbink is pretty slow to its attacks. So I would say I'd rather be the Dragonair here, honestly. We shield Rock Slide. Go for another Aqua Tail here. And, yeah, we just pay so fast to these Aqua Tails. And honestly, it looks like I would get to a 4th Aqua Tail. So if he shielded, he'd probably be forced to expend another Rock Slide. In comes Annihilate, and I get to another Aqua Tail before going down. Absolutely huge for me. He takes it, and I'm like, okay, what the heck's in back? And unfortunately for us, it's the Shadow Talonflame. So I thought we were in a pretty good spot. Considering we won the lead, we landed Aqua Tail as well. But no, this Talonflame is going to be really tough for us. Here, I thought he would go for back-to-back attacks. So I make a catch attempt on my Corviknight, and once I don't make the catch and he's allowed to overfarm, then I top left. But had I made like a catch of a fly there, maybe I still would have had some play. But because I didn't successfully make the catch, yeah, I decided to top left. Here we go. Dragonair into a Shadow Malamar. Shadow on Shadow. 2 very high attack Pokemon. Very oppressive Pokemon. And that Aqua Tail does a lot. Now, it's pretty dang close here. I think it might even be IV dependent, whether this Malamar gets to another attack. And you see me not commit. Like, I think I might have got the farm down there. It was close, so maybe I probably should have committed there to the farm down, and I didn't. In comes a Dunsparce. It's an Astonished Dunsparce. Astonished Dunsparce. It took me a while to realize. But I decided just to get a wrap before going down, debuff it. In comes Corviknight now. A little bit awkward. And I decide to Icy Wind before going into my own Corviknight. So I do create a big desync in the switch timer, but what this allows is now if he throws Payback here, it's going to be debuffed. And he swaps Dunsparce, and I saw the swap, but I threw Air Cutter anyway. Because I thought he would shield. I thought he would, I thought like he would think I'd go for a Payback, and he would shield, but he didn't, so that was pretty bad for me, honestly. Another Air Cutter, and he lives. Then I swap into Wiggles, and this this becomes awkward because I don't have much fast attack pressure on this Corviknight. He still has 2 shields. He's putting it all on his Corviknight. Super awkward. And, I don't know, man. Another Air Cutter. We barely hang on. I'm getting lucky that he's not getting attack buffs on these Air Cutters, at least. We get off a Parting Icy Wind. That's pretty big for us. And at this point, it is a race to these Air Cutters. We're just going straight for him. No need to build up to, yeah, it's a Payback at this point. He actually lets it go because he knows it's just an Air Cutter. And I shield, because I don't think he can bait and still get to a Payback here. And that is going to be a good game. Our opponent made it really uncomfortable in the end with some of those bait calls. But we're able to get it done. There we go. Sporting the level 50 jacket now, by the way. I think I was in a previous video. I definitely told you guys in the previous video about hitting level 50, but I don't know if I can't remember if I've showcased my battles where I've been wearing it. Kaifia, amazing player. Dragonair into Claude. So this is a good matchup, I'd say, for Dragonair. Technically, Claude, I think, wins the ones because you can, like, shield once, bait once, and then, like, land an Earthquake to knock out. But Dragonair can really put on the pressure. Cloud actually might win the 2s as well, because you can take one Aqua Tail, no problem. And because he barely lives, I actually swap into Corv. Maybe one Dragon Breath would have KO'd had I stayed in, excuse me. But I decided to catch onto Corv, not risk him getting both my shields. And then he comes in with Charizard, and I'm like, oh no. Am I screwed? Am I screwed? I CMP him on accident on 6, which is enough for the Blast Burn. Charizard's so fast now. Air Cutter gets the shield. I aggressively swap. He catches on Meowscarada. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He catches on Meowscarada. I get off a Wrap here. Wrap is going to knock out Meow. He comes in Charizard. He's going to be forced to throw. So I'm like, okay, this is not good. Charizard just obliterates my backline, but it is really low. So maybe I'm not lost yet. I go for the Air Cutter here. Gonna get that last shield. He has to shield. And I'm gonna stay in, forcing him to Blast Burn. And now this basically comes down to whether my Wiggly can survive a Blast Burn from full health, plus a few Embers. And these Embers aren't doing very much. Wiggles, can it take a Shadow Blast Burn? Bang! Oh, it does so much, but Wiggles barely hangs on. I remember some of my chat was like, no way Wiggles gets KO'd. And I'm like, well, it was pretty dang close. It literally came down to one Ember was the difference in us winning that game. So very close game. I thought we were kind of cooked by the Charizard, but luckily the Meowscarada had like nowhere to go. So we were a little bit fortunate in that regard. 28-60. And one more set here. Oh, went a little bit too far forward, I think. Shoot. Don't tell me it's another Talonflame. Why is everyone running Shadow Talonflame when I'm weak to Shadow Talonflame? Here we go. Someone with a t-shirt. Florges lead. Talonflame swap. Wait. I want to know who this was. They've got the t-shirt. Sorry, this is probably annoying. I should have just been patient. Had I just been patient and just kept it video playing, we would have already been in the battle by now. But I kept trying to skip forward. Silly Rise. Patience is a virtue. But yeah, this team has been a lot of fun. Kazim. Okay, yeah. Pretty horrible lead. I think Kazim hit... I don't know if he hit number 1 recently. I saw him post. Or close to it. We go for the payback here. It does land. But the tough thing here is Talon is only 1 away. So I don't think it's going to get Dragon Breath down before it gets to attack. So this is pretty brutal for us. Was that DRE as well? No, it wasn't DRE because I did one more Dragon Breath after. In comes Florges. We're going to swap Wiggles. Hope maybe they don't have a great answer. I'm actually going to stay. Force him to throw like a Chilling Water. He's staying in. I figure his charge attacks don't really pressure Dragonair, so I'm like I'm kind of waiting for him to throw maybe a Chilling Water here. And then he goes for Trailblaze. I go Wiggles. And he's going to fire off something here. I'm going to let it go. Chilling Water, ow. And it's Corv and I top left. And Kazim normally runs some pretty crazy teams. A tough one. I don't think there's realistically anything we could have done against that team. Just kind of perfectly hard countered. So, sometimes that happens. Next battle. Jet. Dragonair into Dusknoir. Dusknoir. And Dragonair's Dragon Breaths are going to chunk away here. I've been really enjoying Dragonair. It's a very fun Pokemon to use with its spamminess, its pressure, and also the ability to debuff with that Wrap. Shield up the Shadow Punch here. And we go for another Aqua Tail. We also outpost, like, most things in the ability to get to 2 attacks. I swap in Wiggles. I elect to take the Dynamic Punch, knowing that this might be Wiggles' best matchup, and they actually come in with a Diggersby. And I throw on bad timing here. I throw after 4 Charms because I want to make sure I get this Icy Wind off before a Scorching Sands. And this is going to be pretty critical for me because Corviknight does not like to see Diggersby. It is not a good matchup at all. Super effective Fire Punches, plus its bulk makes Corviknight's damage pretty minimal. I swap Dragonair to get some use out of it here. I force him to throw. Ooh, and he makes a nice play, actually. He swaps... He undercharges, and then he swaps Togue to get a peck down. So he gives himself a head start on energy with this Togekiss, which is not the best matchup for Corviknight. You would think Steel, right, against Fairy, but because it's a flyer, it resists our sand attack damage, and we can really only hit it for these air cutters. We do boost on this first air cutter, which is quite nice. We get off a second air cutter. Maybe I should have even gone for payback here, but at that point, you start to risk the switch timer coming up and like a catch potential. We're getting pretty low after this one, and I'm anticipating the swap. I bank an air cutter, and I think my opponent made a mistake here, actually. I think what they should have done, so they come in Dusk, but they have a move, or at least they're close to it on Togue. I think they could have thrown their move on Togue, and even if they took a Charm, it would have been tough for me to stand attack down. And I was so low on Corv, like one Astonish would have got me. So I think the opponent might have had a win condition in that end game. And that kind of shows you, like, sometimes these games, whether it's the team, the X's and O's, like the counting, the strats, like it really comes down to like end game recognition of like what's the win condition. So sometimes it's not, you know, it's not entirely what you know, what you can like quantify in like counting and everything. Anyway, here we go. Pretty rough lead for Dragonair into the jump bluff since they have super effective Fairy Wind. I mean, if I played out like the 2s, it's probably not that bad. Here I am with Corv. Honestly, bro, I should have just gone for the payback here because if I can get both shields, that would have been great. But now I go for the 2 air cutters. So I guess it's... Oh, okay. So I guess it kind of works out similarly. I just had to use more energy. Then he gets a farm down with Primeape, though. And I know my Dragonair is kind of useless against the Dragonair at this point, so I'm just putting this all on Wigglytuff. Oh my god, so much damage. We basically get one shot by the close combat. And this is all up to Wiggles now. I shield, because you never know, especially with regular jump bluff, sometimes people opt for, like, double nuke. They don't even run Aerial Ace. We grab the final shield. I shield up again. I think this is a mistake because the switch timer is coming up, and I would rather shield a close combat here. But I am going to get to the Swift first. This should knock out. And now I can simply survive this. I should live in Acrobatics on Wiggles and get off the Icy Wind to knock out. So a nice game there. Tough lead, Dragonair into Jump Bluff. Luckily, they didn't really have a great response to our Corviknight safe swap. So Corviknight as a safe swap can be pretty good. Some of the hardest answers include like Talonflame and Stunfisk. Those are pretty bad for Corviknight, where you might be in a pretty rough spot if that happens. But other than those, it tends to have a lot of play as a safe switch. So I do like Corviknight for that reason. Next battle. Here we go. Another Shadow Talon. They safe swap Furret, and I think I ran into this team a few times where it was normally a Mud Slapper in back, and I kind of found a way to play this. I swap in Wiggles. So he's at 9 sucker punches now. And I should be able to get him in the next charm here. Nice. And I think I can do 1 in Swift, 1 in Swift. And getting both of these Swifts off is really nice because it basically threatens to knock out the Talon. So he's probably going to be forced to shield one of these Swifts. He does catch the next one on, on Stunfisk. And this is so awkward, right? My Corviknight has nowhere to go. So I go Corviknight into Stunfisk, which is a terrible matchup. But as we just said, I didn't even remember this. It's kind of funny. I referenced these two as the biggest counters to the Corviknight. And look at this. We're baiting. We're baiting Air Cutter on the Stunfisk. We get the bait. Let's go. I was hoping maybe I barely hang on to this discharge and get off the payback. But no, the discharge KOs. And now this is a little bit awkward. Talonflame is still 1 off. 1 Incinerate off an attack, right? So we have to be aware of that. I throw my Aqua Tail here. This may grab the final Protect Shield. We're not quite in Mud Bomb range, but a Mud Bomb would put us really low to the point where 1 Incinerate would probably KO. So I need to be careful here. I need to overfarm. Put myself at a point where I can get to that next Aqua Tail. And this is where Dragonair being so fast. We only farm a little bit past, and we're 4 off the Aqua Tail. Let's go, baby. Dragonair. So spammy. Gets us the win. And that is a good game, trainer. Good game, trainer. We're so weak to Talon in the back with this team, so you have to be careful because even when you see Talonflame in the lead, if you can't manage the safe swap well enough, it becomes a real issue. Because if I have to go down a shield in the safe swap situation, then Talon can like farm down and then they get another shield. Suddenly I'm down 2 shields. Like that can be pretty devastating. So definitely have to be pretty precise to overcome Talonflame with this team, in my opinion. As we search for that next opponent. Who is it gonna be? Who is it going to be? Play the Jeopardy theme music. All right, I'm gonna skip ahead, and then as soon as I skip ahead, watch, it's gonna. Okay. Awkward silence. I just realized as I think there's 1 or 2 battles left. There is a practice tournament I think I am going to do, and I am registering my team as we speak for this practice tournament. Okay, Dragonair against Corviknight. We're gonna chip this, swap into our own Corviknight, and oh, did we mess up here? Did we need to go Wiggly here based off what the back Pokemon could be? Okay. No. They go into Diggersby, so we're desynced here in the switch timer. And now, let's see. We're going to have to take some energy here before we can get out. I throw another payback here onto the Diggersby, getting ready to swap back out most likely. But not before I have to take another Fire Punch. I'm probably going to try to work around the switch clock, dance around here. I aggressively swap into Wiggles this time. Aggressively swap into Wiggles. Am I going to shield? Yeah, I'm going to shield. Preserve some health. It's just a Fire Punch, though, so a nice bait by the opponent. They go back into Corviknight. Not going to shield this. It's just an Air Cutter. Get off the Icy Wind here. I'm hoping this connects, because I don't really have an obvious way to take out the Corviknight at this range. It doesn't connect. Not good. So they're going to keep firing off attacks here. Air Cutter. Swift comes through. This is resisted. It's not going to quite knock out. It's going to put it really low. I go into my own Corv Force them to expend something here. Do we still have some play? They're really low. I've still got a lot of health on my Dragonair, which I come in with, and it's Corsola. And I don't think this is that bad. I actually like this matchup for Dragonair because the Dragon Breath plus double Aqua Tail is like enough to knock out. And Corsola's a little bit slow in comparison to Dragonair. I go for a catch, and I get the catch onto Wiggles and sneak through a charm. I'm thinking maybe this is some type of win con, and now I'm thinking like, I kind of have to shield anyway, though, even though it's a Nightshade. And I do get the charm down. I get the Swift off against the Diggersby. Let's go, baby. And we're going to charm down the Corsola. What a win. Let's go. And with that win, chat, comments, that gives us a 4-1 in this set. And that took us to a whopping, I believe it was 2901 ELO. That put us at number 15 on the global leaderboard. I've dropped a few points since then, and now some people have hit Legends, so 2901 wouldn't quite be as high as 15 2 days later, but pretty proud of that little run early here in the season. Hopefully we can hit Legend soon-ish, but I'm really in no rush. Wherever you are in this season, I hope you guys have fun, do your best. The only person you're competing against is yourself. And all that said, I thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Comment down below. All your comments are appreciated. And all that said, thanks so much once again. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.